All right, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Real Talk with Real Fitness. And today we have special guest Tracy Fullerton. Tracy, thank you for joining us. It
Sure
has
thing.
been
My
been with the
pleasure.
gym almost 2 years. In 2 weeks, it'll be 2 years. Got a note. Tracy led the gym last year in EverFit workouts. So all-star member here, and wanted to talk to her about her journey at Real Fitness. Where last week when we gave Tracy the award of the most logged ever fit, she did make a comment. She was like, when I started, this was really hard. This was that. There you go. You made that comment about how hard it was in the beginning, but how you stuck through it. So if you don't mind, just kind of starting off, just kind of telling us about that journey, about how, yeah, because it is starting a new program is tough, and you stuck with it, and just kind of tell us
God.
about your experience.
Yeah, I mean, it was really hard. So I remember so strongly coming in, Peter, and doing the sort of, I don't know, it's kind of like this evaluation workout in a way, like, with you. And I was so sore. Like I could barely move
Mhm.
afterwards. And I just knew how out of shape I was. I was like, oh my God, I don't know if I can do this. But I don't know. It was weird. Something about the vibe of the gym, and the people that I met, and I just made that decision right then, even though I was just dying, right?
Mhm.
Um, to try, and I think I got like maybe a 3 month setup and started coming in at that time like 2 days a week, and I was still dying. Like every time I'll come in, I was dying. And I was mostly working with McKenna and then John, and they would say to me, "Okay, do this, do like a lunge or whatever." Like I just had never worked out before, right? Not like that. I'd done different types of sports and things, but I never worked out in the gym like strength training. I didn't know what anything was called,
So this is your
right?
first gym like strength traiing program you've done?
Ever,
Okay.
like in my
Wow.
life. So they'd say, "Oh, do a lunge," and I'd be like, "Okay, well, what's that?"
Oh.
Right? I had no
Congrats.
idea. And then I would do that and I'd be like, "Oh my God, that hurts." Right? And but the thing is, it's they're so supportive. Everybody is so supportive, and kind of the vibe is not people trying to be there and impress each other or whatever. People are just there, working at their own level, and that made me feel comfortable. And I'd never felt comfortable ever in the gym before. I'd gone to gyms. I'd been part of gyms. Mostly I just go in and use like the treadmills and stuff, and, maybe the swimming pool, and then like leave.
Mhm.
Right.
Mhm.
And I never worked out in, um, group, like the classes or anything. So I
Uh-huh.
just didn't know what anything was called, and I'd never been guided or helped. I just had tried doing stuff on my own. Um, so yeah, I mean, it was hard because I was so uneducated, and because I just didn't know how anything did. But then John said something at one point. He said, "Oh, well, we love it because you don't have any bad habits."
Ah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
And I was
that's
like,
good.
"Oh, okay, well, that's a positive thing. I'm
Yeah.
not trained. I haven't done it, so I haven't done it wrong for
And
years
we
Yeah.
get
and
to
years."
mold you, you know? Wow.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
I,
we
I
got
gave me sort of this hope that I was like, okay, well, they
That
can teach me because I don't have any bad habits,
I think that was a perfect cue from John saying it like that because
Yeah.
that psychologically helps.
It
Uh,
helped me think that I was actually in a good place,
uh,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
how how has
Yeah.
how has the fitness training impacted your focus, your creativity? I mean, your overall now. Did that do something to your outside life?
Yeah. Well, I mean, absolutely. So part of my journey is that I had cancer. And and I had chemotherapy and radiation. And I basically was on these, drugs that cause you to have osteoporosis, right? And so my bones were getting brittle, more and more brittle. Got to a point the year before I started where I was just walking across the street and my leg broke. Right.
Oh,
So, part of the reason part of the reason I originally even contacted you guys, Lucho, I reached out to you originally was because I saw, I knew I had to do something after I broke my leg, doing nothing. Like, I have to do something. I have to strengthen because I just can't go through the rest of my life like this. I don't want to be afraid of breaking things doing normal everyday activities. So I knew I had to do something. First of all, I got off of the drugs. I did a bunch of research on it and decided that I'd done enough, according to the studies, that I'd actually overtaken. Like, my doctor was being very cautious, but I felt like I'd taken them for longer than I needed to. So I got off those drugs and immediately started feeling better. And then I was like, okay, the next thing I need to do is start getting stronger. So, how you say things out loud and then your like social media starts advertising to you.
yeah.
So
Kind
that
of creepy when that
Yes,
happens.
listening to you.
freaky, right? But that happened to me with Real Fitness. I started seeing these ads for Real Fitness, and the thing about it is it looked like normal people. It didn't look like a bunch of like super buff people who knew everything. It just looked like people like me working out, and
Okay.
I felt I felt comfortable with the ads. So I never do this, but I just literally sent an email to the email in the ads, and then Lucho called me. We were just saying, call me while I was at jury duty. I was like, I can't talk to you right
You know,
now. And I thought maybe he
that
thought it was an excuse. I thought it was like, oh, he's gonna think it's an excuse, right?
Yeah.
Uh,
You know,
uh,
that all happened internationally too, because I think I was I know I was in Spain when all that
Huh.
happened.
yeah,
I do remember that. It took me a while, but I was like, I do remember this. Yeah,
yeah.
because I have sometimes you get some unusual situations with calls when I take because I'm taking a chance. I don't know where I'm going to find them. It's a cold call.
Yeah, it was
And,
cold call. It was mostly a cold call. I mean, I had
yeah,
sent an email, right? And I
yeah,
wanted the call, but then, when you sign up for something new, you're never sure if you want to do it, right? And so I took the call and I was like, I can't talk. But then we did connect the next week,
yeah,
and
yeah.
and I wound up coming in and working with Peter and finally McKenna and John and everyone. And it was like this weird thing where the first decision was hard, but every decision after that became easier.
So
Right?
the hardest stuff was
Scary. It was scary. It wasn't
easy.
hard. It was scary.
It was
Yeah.
scary. Yeah, yeah. And
Like,
did
I
you
don't know.
find
I
that-
don't know. Should I do this? Kind of a thing.
Yeah.
I remember driving there the first day to meet with Peter thinking, well, you're just going to do this kind of like eval training, and then you're not good at these things, so you're probably not going to like it. So don't worry about this is it. I remember thinking this is the last time you'll go, right? And now, like, more than 200 times later,
Yeah.
I make that drive like 3 times a week,
Yeah.
right?
wow.
Did you find that it was intimidating in the beginning? Did you feel like
No,
you
that's
wouldn't
why I
belong
kept
there?
coming. It was that first day, yes, because
I mean, before you made a decision to go.
Yeah, I'm always intimidated by people who are athletic because I'm not athletic.
And so when you saw the photos and you saw, oh, these seem like, normal people.
Yeah.
So what advice would you give to people that feel that way?
I think if you
not going.
see yourself I mean, it's really rare these days that you actually see yourself in an ad, right? That you see, I don't mean yourself, but like see people who you feel like, okay, I could talk to those people and not be intimidated
Right.
by them,
Yes.
right? So it's really rare because usually ads are just beautiful people, right? They're like buff, beautiful people and unattainable. Like, you can never have a conversation with people in an advertisement, right?
Right.
And so I always feel sort of like, wow, I wouldn't do that. But I saw, like I said, they're just normal people. The picture just happened to be, it's not a picture of the gym. It was like a picture of people, normal people working out. They look, like I said, like people I might know and talk to. And I didn't feel intimidated. So
That's
it was weird because I get a much cheaper gym membership at USC because that's where I work. And I've had that. I actually gave that up recently, but I've had that for many, many years. And I never go. Like, that's why I gave it up finally, because I used to just go use the treadmills in the pool and leave. Right.
Is this a gym on campus?
It's on campus. And I'm sure I don't like classes, first of all. I don't like those big classes. I'm not a group person. And so I've never gotten involved with any of their training because it's all classes, and so I've had that for years and years and just never used it. Of course, during COVID, then they should. It's like, so
Right.
I had all my gym clothes in there and they got moldy. But it was just not working for me. It was not working. And of course, this is a bigger investment for me because I don't get it subsidized by USC, right? But what I love is the the small classes. They're not these big group things that are anonymous. There's usually, 2 to 4 people there. And the trainers really can pay attention to you. But you're not, having to invest in like personal training, right?
Right.
So you can also sort of charge through if you know what you're doing. And then if you don't know what you're doing, they're super available to help. So that's where I've sort of found my like place I kind of lock in is in these small groups, which I've never seen advertised before. I've never seen anyone offer them. There's always just like you train alone with a personal trainer or with a big group, right? And the small groups, I guess, is where I've sort of found I feel the most comfortable. I can kind of go on my own when I'm in a role and I know what I'm doing. They just let me do it. And then if I need help, they're right there. And there's enough people, so it's not like so expensive that I can't afford it, right? Yeah, so it's actually worked out. I never even heard of this idea of like small group training before. Like I said, I'm not really it's not my thing, right?
Yeah, it's a newish concept. It's been around, but it was always personal training group classes, like one person or 20 people. So it is a fairly new concept where a lot of people come to the gym we kind of have to explain this is what small group training is. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's so great for a person like me who's introverted. It's weirdly perfect. I don't have the full focus of the trainer, so I have a little bit of anonymity, but I'm also not lost in a group, right? It's just sort of the perfect mode for me. Also, I'm a complete nerd, so the app that you guys use works from like I love checking things off the list.
Oh yeah.
It fits your personality.
Yeah.
This service fits your personality.
It fits my personality. I just am like check, and I love being able to go up in weights so that at the end it'll tell me like I have like a personal best, and then gives me animals.
I said animals are that's always a great plus is like
Yeah.
you did 300 alpacas,
It's hysterical.
So along this small group training journey, what's like something you've accomplished, maybe an exercise or a personal best that's surprised you? You're like, oh, I wouldn't have thought I'd be doing this.
It's funny that you ask. I feel like I've always had like good lower body strength. So I've always like ever since we started doing, I'm like, oh, deadlifts are my favorite, and I love that, right? But I have problems with my knees, so I hate squatting. But what's so funny is, so I've been working on it. And when I got to the safety bar squats, finally, I finally graduated to the safety bar squats, and that changes your balance. And it changes like sort of how your squat is balanced. And I found out that I actually really like it, that I'm not bad at it.
Nice.
I'm not squatting like, a ton, but I am doing really well for where I started, which is, when I first started, I was squatting body weight and, it was not easy because my knees. And now I am doing safety bar squats and not, when it comes up in the list, I'm like, okay, let's do it.
Oh,
Yeah.
right.
It's
Nice.
great.
That's well. So with that, with the comment that I made about that you found your personality way of making this possible, you got the most logged workouts in the small group. Was and maybe you did answer it when you said that all that stuff you like because it's your personality. Was that the secret to your consistency and becoming the most logged person in small PT?
I think two things. I think, yes, I think being so I'm kind of very, very sort of OCD. So I like to look at the lesson plans and see what I'm going to be doing and sort of imagine in my head what I'm going to be doing, and having it on that app really helps, right? So it's all laid out there ahead of me when I'm, just like sitting the night before watching TV or something. And I'm like, okay, we're going to be doing squats, or we're going to be doing deadlifts, or okay, gear yourself up because we're going to do a bunch of body saws and that's going to be not fun. Right. So I sort of, can anticipate and sort of gear myself up for the parts that not excited about, but also say, okay, we're going to do deadlifts. That's going to be great. Or I like the combos of the deadlifts and the bench presses. I've never had any upper body strength, so it's exciting to me that I've been progressing on the bench presses because I've just
Hey,
got, as just grown, just no upper body strength. So it's
so,
exciting to me to try.
so
Right.
you're enjoying the challenge then. You're enjoying the process of
Yeah.
getting better, getting better.
Yeah. And I loved doing like lat pull downs and things like that, which, who knew that's what I was going to, who knew that's what I was going to be excited about. Right.
What's your current favorite? Of all these you mentioned, what's your current favorite?
Bench press.
Bench
Bench
press?
press.
I'm
Okay.
again,
Dumbbell or
it's
barbell?
not like I'm not a strong woman or anything like, I'm not like, it's not like a ton of weight, but I'm at 70 pounds, which, I'm 60 years old. Right. So I've looked it up. I'm like, what should I be able to bench press at 60 years old? And actually that I'm right in there,
Okay.
So especially for someone who's not an expert. Right. And I'm progressing a little bit at a time. So hopefully it'll get to be better and better.
So here's a follow-up question, I guess, to the training part. Has your diet changed at all since you started coming to the gym?
Well, okay, so I'm also diabetic. This is like the too much information podcast. So so I'm always struggling with
Mm.
trying to find ways, and I'm also a workaholic, right? So struggling to find ways to balance time and diet and exercise and make those things balance out, right? And blood sugar. So yes, it has, because I also I joined this thing called Tovala, right? Which is like these little meals that cook in this smart oven, and they're, you have to choose right, but there's a lot of really well balanced meals there, right? Carb balanced, and so my diet has gotten better, partially as I've just gotten much more regimented over the last few years in setting up when I'm going to eat, what I'm going to eat, when I'm going to exercise, and just making sure that I will get enough like protein before I exercise. This has kind of been a struggle for me. The mornings are a struggle for me. So setting that up and making sure I don't, as a diabetic, come and get too low blood sugar or too high. Everything's gotten a little bit more regimented, I would say.
New
Yeah.
habits, yeah, I gotcha. You gotta
Yeah.
adapt. Let me ask you something, Tracy. You know, you went through the process, and obviously you trust the process. What would you tell somebody that's going through this process? Because 2 years, and you felt the physical transformation, but you got over the psychological boot camp. So what would be your like? What would you say? It's like, man, you got to
Well,
stick it out. I mean,
yeah, you got to make time for it. And also, I think what I keep telling myself is I have to make time for recovery.
Mm.
So I think that's one of the things that causes you to not come is there's going to be tweaks. You're going to hurt your back on something. You're going to, do you know what I mean? Like, or
Yeah.
in your life, you're going to tweak.
There's going to
And,
be bumps along the way for
mhm,
sure.
and being okay with, okay, I'm going to be, 2 days after I do a massive workout, I might actually be super sore. And I got to be okay with that. You know what I mean? Giving myself extra time to rest. So that's what you don't know. You don't know that, oh, I think I'm just making this hour at the gym. But actually, I'm also making time to eat well. I'm actually also making time to make sure I get enough sleep or to just, I don't know, soak my muscles, in the tub and make sure that I recover. Right. And so those are some of the things you don't know. And so you might think, oh, I'm failing because I, I'm spending all this extra time recovering, but
mm,
that's part of the process, right?
Yeah.
right.
It's the other half of the completion of the sphere of it, if you will.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, and I don't think that I realized that. I mean, the other types of exercises that I did before I, because like I said, no strength training, never. But I have done lots of walking. I've done cycling. I do sailing. I've done hiking, a lot of hiking, and there are some recovery, but not like if you do, a whole bunch of crunches and then you just literally you're like, I can't get out of bed now because like can't roll. I have to roll out of bed.
Yeah, yeah. Even sitting becomes a challenge.
Sometimes,
Are you
sometimes.
still Tracy, are you still sailing and hiking? Are you still doing those
Oh,
things?
Mostly sailing. I sail every weekend or every other weekend. I
Oh,
try
nice.
to.
oh,
Yeah,
wow.
How
yeah.
long have you how long has that been a hobby of yours?
Oh, I've been sailing since I was like 12.
Oh,
Wow.
okay. Oh.
Yeah, yeah.
What
Back
size?
before I got sick, I owned my own boat.
Oh,
And now I rent, I charter and I do these kind of random cruise. They're called easy cruise, where you just
oh.
meet new people and go sailing with them.
When I moved out here in '95, I was only 22 years old, and my first place that I actually could afford was a sailboat. A friend of mine was
Oh,
renting.
nice.
Yeah, so I learned how to sail. I think I was after 6 months living in California that it just happened, and then I lived in a Newport. It was I think it was a little over 35 feet, but I learned how to set the mast because he told me that I go sailing every month. So you got to be willing to be okay with that.
You gotta take it out with me.
Yeah.
That's what the guy said. I love it because when I had a boat, that's the hardest thing is find people to sail with.
Uh-huh.
So I had a 30-foot Catalina
Catalina.
sailboat
Okay.
down
Yeah.
in Marina del Rey for about 6 years, and
I was paying the slip. It was only
yeah,
$400 in the marina back then.
yep, yep,
That's all I could afford.
yeah.
Can
Well,
you in the sailing, can you tell like, oh, I'm stronger like when I'm doing stuff on the boat?
oh yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Wow.
In fact, there was like a moment when I can't remember exactly when it was, but I remember I was pulling in the main sheets, like sort of like on the one of the bigger boats. On the smaller boat, it's always been easy, but I was like pulling on it like really hard, and I could feel. I was like, oh man, I have some upper body strength all of a sudden, and I was like, wow, that's pretty cool, Um, so I can feel it helping. It also helps. Like I said, I have issues with my knees, and I can getting down on your knees. You know, we all get older, and it just is not fun. But I can now get down on my knees a lot easier, and that's really helpful on
That's great.
yeah, on the boat.
Did you are you from California? Like you were sailing out here?
Yeah, I'm from
Oh,
Los Angeles. I'm from right
Oh,
here. This is my
okay.
grandmother's house. I live in it.
Oh wow, you're one of the rare ones. I feel like it's rare that we meet people at the gym that are actually from
that
LA.
native. Yeah.
I
Ironically,
know. I know,
yeah.
it's crazy. if you get a couple people who are from LA together in one room, the room starts to vibrate.
Head's also got to shout out, huge Dodger fan, right? Huge
Huge Dodgers fan for sure. Yeah.
So in your current, like right now, I mean, you brought up you love the bench press. What's your current fitness goal? Like, do you have is there anything that stands out? Like, all right, now I want to check this off.
It's a great question. So, always my goal in the foundational goal is keep going. Don't stop, right? That's always the foundational goal. Like I have to travel next week, so I have to take 2 days off. But I'm like, okay, but I've already made my reservations for the week after because don't stop, right? Because I know myself, once I let it peter out, then it's like all or nothing for me. So the foundational goals always don't stop. But in terms of like, what I want to accomplish, I really feel like I need to do work on my core. I mean, I just have always had like a weak core. So that's why I was making jokes about the crunches, right? And I have been improving, like doing reverse crunches. I can really tell that I've been improving.
Yeah.
Because we now on day 3 of the program, we have there's a set of, you do this twice, but you do 20 reverse crunches twice.
A lot.
And the first time we did that cycle, like several months ago, maybe like, I don't know, 5 or 6 months ago, we had that cycle and I just couldn't do it. I would just stop after every 5, right? And I would just die, right? But now I can do it. Right.
Yeah.
Now I can do, I don't stop. I'm not happy doing them, but I don't stop after 5 crunches and just have to catch my breath. I do the 20. I'm not happy. I'm winded, but I didn't have to die in the middle of them. I want to keep working on my core. I think that also helps in sailing, right? Because you're constantly trying to keep your balance. And I think it's really helpful just in daily life, frankly.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. The body saws are tough. You mentioned those. That's a tough one, right?
Yeah, exactly. There's going to do 20 of those in that day 3 too. Day 3, man, the site, there's I think it's 15 exercises, 20 reps each, and you do this and you do it twice. That's a killer. I finished both cycles for the very first time ever last week. I've never gotten through all 15 exercises, 20 reps each, 2 cycles, but I did it. I was like pounding, and John's like, it's almost time to close and get your last thing. I'm like, no, I got three more exercise, 3 more. I'm gonna finish it today.
Yeah. That's because that's over the 20 reps of a lot of things, right?
Yeah, I mean, they're supposed to be lightweight reps, but some of them are body reps. So, like with the body saws and the reverse crunches, nothing you can do. You're lifting your body. So 20 times doing that reverse crunch, you're doing it.
Yeah. Well,
spinning around over here. He's like,
I don't know.
Speaking of reverse crunches, he's doing it.
He's on the reverse podcast.
Yeah. Cool.
Well, Tracy, thank you so much for sharing your journey with us, your journey with Real Fitness. Very impressive, so especially having dealt with the health issues, like you said before, and then coming out of that to really getting very strong in the gym and very strong and consistent. So it's a very impressive journey. So it's like that's why we made the gym
I appreciate everyone there. I appreciate all of you guys and all the folks, the trainers there. Like I say, mostly I work with McKenna and John, and they're just they're just so supportive, and all the other people there too are, everyone's so friendly. It doesn't feel like some sort of weird competition, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everyone is just supportive of each other. So, it makes it really welcoming, and I really, really appreciate it.
Random question, but has the idea hasn't popped into your head of like, oh, maybe I'll make a gym video game? Like that's not a. I don't think I've ever seen a gym
Hey.
video game. So just like,
No, there are. There's like,
are there?
yeah. So yeah, like Wii Fitness, you know.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah.
There are definitely games where you work out for sure. I am not in process of making a gym video game. I will tell you, I'm not doing that. But I will play them. I like to play.
Any game recommendations you have?
For right now?
Yeah.
Sure. I mean, there's a lot of great games. Actually, I just judged an indie game jam from that game company, and there's like all these wonderful young indie folks, and they have posted all their games, and they're free on Itch. If you just go to that game company's game jam, you can probably Google it, and there's just like a whole bunch of I played tons of them, and they're beautiful little free games, and I really recommend them.
Cool.
Yeah.
One last I got to sneak in there because greatest video game of all time.
Oh,
greatest video game of all time.
Greatest video game of all time?
That is the hardest question ever, and there's so many.
It's like the favorite movie
qualifications that I have to put on here, but I'm going to go with most influential. Okay, and I would say Tetris is the most.
Yes,
everyone has played Tetris.
Oh yeah.
Like it was wildly innovative in its earliest moments. Now, of course, it's not so innovative, but when it first came out, it made the Game Boy. So it's one of the reasons that we have handheld gaming, which is obviously how most of us game on our phones, right?
Yeah.
I mean, so it's so wildly innovative at its time, but then also it's just like so interesting from a cultural perspective. Like during the Cold War, it was this weird gift from Russia, right? And then of course it's gone on and been in so many different formats and styles, and it's been part of other games, and everyone loves it.
That's a great answer. I was thinking it was gonna be Super Mario, but it was Tetris.
Oh,
I was thinking Pac-Man.
Beautiful game.
Pac-Man.
And I love Ms. Pac-Man, frankly. We actually have a Ms. Pac-Man machine at work. Yeah, that was belonged to my sister, but she gave it to me, and I gave it to work.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do a part 2 of video game talk because this is
that's right.
This is just a conversation.
I thought it was gonna be World of Warcraft.
That's
your podcast.
Yeah, it's Playthink. So go to playthink.com or playthink.org.
Oh yeah, plug the podcast, plug your podcast before we log off.
Playthink.org, and it's discussions of games as art and culture.
All right, there you have it.
Awesome.
Tracy, thank you again.
You're welcome.
Really appreciate you sharing your story.
Yeah, thank you guys.